Welcome to Chasing Gold, the 2025 Black Canyon edition. I'm your host, Schuyler Hall, coming to you with all of the runners that you want to be following on this year's live stream. Going to be here on the Mountain Outpost channel, so you can just go ahead and hit that subscribe button now so that you can watch the race on February 8th. Somebody we wholly expect to be at the front of this race is no stranger to the desert, Riley Brady. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well today. It's like typical cold Colorado blue sky day. So yeah, good day.
Love that. Love that. So first question off the jump, we're just gonna hit you with the hard hitting opener. It's contract season. All right.
Uh-huh.
Imagine you find yourself in the elevator with the CEO of your dream brand. What is your 30-second elevator pitch on why they and all of us watching should bet on you in 2025 and beyond?
Well, I think first and foremost, I have finally kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's no secret that fueling has been my Achilles heel over the past couple of years. I've really struggled there. Since then, I've started working with a dietitian, and it felt like it all kind of came together at Javelina. So I think just the fact that I've been in the sport for like 10 years at this point, I've got the experience. I've finally kind of got that fueling thing figured out for what works for me. So I think, yeah, I think 2025 is going to be a good year for me.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, you touched on your performance at Javelina. Obviously, you came through with a stellar win at the 2024 edition, ran 14:19 out there on course. So you already have a golden ticket. But I do kind of want to address this Ted Mosby vomit free since 2003 thing. You alluded to the long history of nutritional issues. Are there any insights that you gained at Javelina specifically that you think will transition well to what should be a cooler race at Black Canyon? And then just like broadly across the board, is there anything that you're hoping to implement with your newfound success with your diet?
Yeah. So I think for me, just relying pretty heavily on liquid calories, I think I just realized I'm extremely texturally sensitive. And so gels are just pretty much a vomit trigger for me. So with drink mixes progressing, the ability to just kind of rely on those liquids has been huge. And I think that that's going to continue to work going forward. As
Love that.
far as
And everybody's different. You got to figure out
yeah.
what works best for you. Are there any specific interventions that you think you're going to implement here at Black Canyon, given that it's a relatively shorter race? You're not going to be out there for 16 hours. You're trying to be out there for 8 to 9. Any specific numbers that seem to be the fun, fancy thing that everybody's talking about right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I kind of threw those numbers that everybody's talking about out the window. The super high carb fueling does not seem to work very well for me. I'm gonna keep working on getting that up. At Javelina, I was probably taking in about 45 grams of carbs an hour, which is quite low compared to where most what most people are doing and sort of like where I would like to be. So given that it's a shorter day out there, maybe um, not having to keep that stress going on my body. I'm hoping to get that number up a little bit, but it's also going to be faster. So I think just going into the race, having a plan, but being open to kind of change that plan and not worrying so much about hitting a specific number, just kind of paying attention to my body, trying to troubleshoot as things come up. I think that's going to be the move at Black Canyon.
So that brings up an interesting point. You are here for competition. Really, you don't
Yes.
need this golden ticket. So what about Black Canyon specifically excites you? Was it the start list, and you're like, I need to be a part of this? Is it something that specifically transitions over to Western states that you think is going to be educational? Why Black Canyon fundamentally?
That's a really good question. So I have a few reasons for coming back to Black Canyon. I've raced this race a bunch of times. Like I said, I've been in the sport since I was quite young. I started doing ultras when I was in college. And it was one of the first ultras off of the East Coast that I did. And I love the course. Like, it's a historic course. The point to point is awesome. I love running in the desert. Um, so that's a big draw for me. Um, and even though I've done this a bunch of times, I have failed to show up to this race healthy so many times. Like, it's a hard time of year. I've shown up sick or injured a lot. So having a competitive start list is a draw, but I really want to just have what I feel is a good day for me out there. Show up healthy, race without puking my guts out, um, and just enjoy this beautiful historic course in the desert. Like, those are my main goals, I think.
So, what's different this year where you, I mean, seemingly are healthy and happy and in a good place? What's been different for this lead up, this training block that you feel like you can actually execute and meet that goal?
Yeah, well, I do wanna knock on wood here because there's still 2 weeks for me to,
There,
pick up a cold or something like that, which that's mostly what has happened in the past, like, I've gotten a cold, stomach bug, that kinda thing, so, um, that's kind of out of my hands. I am doing my best with that, but I think also I just, uh with training, I just feel like I have really not struggled with injury very much over the past couple of years. Like, sure, little things pop up here and there, but I kind of think that that's one of the reasons I do well in this sport is I'm pretty durable. Maybe because I've been doing this for a while now, so I just have those miles on my legs, on my body. Um, I was able to get in a couple 100-mile training weeks leading into this. Um, I have a PT who I can rely on now, so if something does come up, I can immediately get it addressed. So yeah, I think all those things are just coming together.
love that. Hey, prevention's before interventions, so get
Totally,
ahead of the
totally.
eight ball where you can. Let's talk a little bit about this training block. You mentioned some of the mileage you've been putting up, and obviously coming from Colorado, not normally known for being a great training ground this time of year. Is there some sort of workout or some tune-up race, or has there been a moment where you sort of had a switch flip where you're like, yeah, I'm ready to really rip it here at Black Canyon?
Um, well, I did get to do some course preview, so I think, doing a training run out on course, I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And I'm gonna keep it to myself what that training run was.
Hey, we're not going to ask you to spill all the beans, but if you just want to unprivate that workout after the
Mm.
race, we will gladly go back and
We'll
look at
see, we'll see.
it. So, I mean, because you do have such historical knowledge of this course, and obviously you've been doing training runs on it, are there any tips that you have implemented or plan to implement this year, something novel in terms of pacing strategy, or are you looking at your historical splits, or are you just saying I'm going with the leaders slash I'm going to be the leader? What's your game plan tactically as you approach this 2025 edition?
I'm not sure how much of that I wanna reveal on air.
There.
Um, so I I am looking at historical splits. I think that that is a helpful guide while keeping in mind the fact that conditions change. So, like last year, obviously the race ended up getting delayed. That kind of threw everybody off. Those first few miles were super muddy. So, just trying to take those sorts of things into account when I'm looking at those historical splits. I definitely want to make sure that I am starting with the leaders. I think the way we race ultras, is changing, and we all have to change with it. Like, if you wanna be at the front of the race, I do think that, um, my I used to really like coming from behind, and I think that's increasingly difficult to do even if you are a strong second half runner. I think you kinda have to stay with that lead pack, um, or else, they're gonna get away from you. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be my approach, trying to stay up there with the front, and then just not fade.
I love it. I'm going to ask you to speak on that that shift in racing a little bit more? You know, you said that it's becoming more and more difficult to sort of snipe people out in the back half of the race. Do you think that's more of a mental shift in terms of how folks are approaching strategically the race scene, or do you think that there have been some changes in whether the training or the fueling that's allowing that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of buzz around fueling right now and the kind of training that that enables. So I don't want to discount that. I think that, yeah, being well fueled is super important, especially for being able to sustain the kind of training you need to do well at these events. So not just like during run fueling, but like fueling in life too. Um, but I also do think it is a mind shift in the sport. I think that, yeah, just as people are getting faster, more and more people are realizing like the race starts at the beginning, not, in the case of Western states, people used to say it starts at Forest Hill, and now people aren't saying that anymore. People know when the gun goes off, like that's the actual start of the race. Um, so I think it's probably all of the above.
So I'm gonna ask you a completely left field question
Okay.
because Black Cane is just this is a fun day for you. Like you
Yes.
have zero pressure on you from a trying to get to Western standpoint. Let's just say running, like it sort of like footloose style, right? Running is just
Yep.
outlawed. Okay, everything related to running outlawed.
Okay.
What are you doing to spend your time? Like how are you filling all the time that you would then have available to you?
I mean, I'd be breaking the law. I'd keep running. Um, but I guess sort of getting to the spirit of your question, I have been pretty interested in metalwork stuff, and have been struggling to kind of like find the time to fit that in, especially because you need access to a shop and a welder, and I live someplace where I don't really have that access without joining sort of like a co-op workshop space. So I think I'd probably dive pretty deeply into that. Maybe try to take some more classes. Um, yeah, that's what I'd be doing with my time.
Hey, listen, it's important to have balance. See, that's what we ask. You're walking in here pretty much pressure free, and so we got to know what you're doing with the rest of your time because mentally you should be a lot less taxed than a lot of your competitors right now.
I do think it's an advantage not having the pressure of a ticket hanging over your head. Uh,
Do you think because you don't have that pressure that it's to your benefit, or are you potentially concerned that you might let your foot off the gas maybe when you wouldn't have if you had that pressure hanging over your head?
I definitely think it's to my benefit. Like you said, like I'm just so excited for Black Canyon. I think it's going to be such a fun day. I I kind of feel like it's like you said, it's like low stakes, and I think I race better that way. Um yeah, just being able to kind of fully enjoy the day and not be focused on that sort of like tangible outcome. I definitely run best when I'm like happy and having a blast, and I fully anticipate to be doing that on Black Canyon race day.
That's definitely something we noticed during the Javelina live stream. You definitely looked like you were enjoying time out there, especially with your crew and pacers. Uh, are there folks that are coming out to support you at this race, whether that be pace, crew, or just joining you for the trip?
Yeah, so I don't have pacers. My parents are coming out to crew. They crew me at all my races, so they're pretty dialed at this point. And I feel super lucky that I have such supportive parents and who want to be involved. And yeah, we just have a really good system down at this point. And um, yeah, I feel like everybody comes out to Black Canyon, so I'm like there's gonna be plenty of friends kind of out on course and, just hanging around who aren't necessarily, an official part of my crew, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing everyone, like, I love these trail running reunion parties, and I definitely feel like Black Canyon is one of those races.
Absolutely, yeah. We will ensure that there was a party out there. And we'll make sure there's one for you at the finish line when you get there. So we're going to finish this off with the quick mix, 5 fast questions for you. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Fair enough. This question is specifically important to you, given how much of a, I say, notoriety you gained at Javelina for it. What's going to be your shoe choice for Black Canyon?
That's still up in the air. I'm still deciding. I don't know.
Okay? Let me put it this way: is there a road super shoe in the mix this
No,
time around, or we're
no,
really saying trail
absolutely not.
specific?
Trail
Okay,
specific. I think Black Canyon is way too rocky for super shoes.
noted. All right. Question number 2, because we clearly need more hype in trail running. What is your walkout song to the start line for the 2025 Black Canyon?
Oh god. Um, this might be everyone's walkout song, but I'm gonna go with Pink Pony Club. It's just like it gets in your head and it stays there.
That that is for damn sure. All right. Question number 3. If you have an unlimited budget for a month-long training camp, where are you headed and why?
Oh man. Um, to be honest, this is gonna be a boring answer. Right now, it would probably be California on the Western States course, because that's what I am just like 100% focused on at the moment.
Hey, that's completely valid. That is the most specific training you can get. So I
Yeah.
respect it. Uh, Question number 4. All right, we're turning Black Canyon into a 2-person relay. So you have to like be daisy chained to one of your competitors the entire way. Which of your competitors are you tying yourself to?
Obviously, Katie Asmith. I mean, if you've spent any time with her, she is just like the most fun person to be around.
No bad moments with Katie. So
No,
totally
no.
understand
That is the easiest question I think you've asked all day.
that. All right. Well, maybe this one will be easier. The last one. On this live stream, people love the live chat. What emoji do you want your supporters just spamming into the live chat to show you love as you're racing along the course?
Oh my god, I don't even know all the emojis. Um,
Throw one out.
I guess we'll go with the hand claps.
All right. All right. Well, listen, everyone who's watching this episode of Chasing Gold, you hit that subscribe button below, hit the bell. You'll get the notification when the live stream goes live on February 8th. And then we're going to be throwing those hand claps all day long in the live chat, making sure that we show Riley all the love that we possibly can. So, Riley Brady, thanks for joining us here on Chasing Gold. And we will see you at the 2025 Black Canyon live streamed here on the Mountain Outpost channel.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate you. Until next time, guys, have a good one.